the percentage of slot fills that are in a key that the system got correct. Now, of course, in evaluations, two numbers is one too many, so they have a way of taking a harmonic average of the two, called an F-score, as formulated here. Now, this beta variable essentially it gives you a dial for which you can specify how much you care about precision versus recall. The only numbers that anybody really talks about are where beta equals 1, that is equal importance between precision and recall, which give you this equation. The effect of this equation is to average precision and recall, but in a way that penalizes large disparities between them. So if your precision and recall is both 60, your S-score will be 60. If your precision is 70 and your recall is 50, or vice versa, this number is going to be somewhat less than 60. So here's an example output we might have for our example system. So we generate the correct event here, and you don't need to kind of look at all of this. But we miss a few slots here that are going to affect our recall. We generate a couple spurious slots here that are going to negatively impact our precision, and we get some incorrect slot fills that do both. So we have essentially 8 correct slot fills here out of 13 that we generated, giving us a precision of 0.615, and those 8 out of 15 that are in a key, giving us a recall of 0.533. And if you use the S-score equation to combine them, you get an S-score of 0.571, which, as you'll see in a couple slides, is essentially state-of-the-art performance for an IE system. What actually happens with these MUX, or at least in MUX 6, is the big day comes and you find out essentially what the test specification is. You're given 100 example texts, you're given answer keys for those 100 texts, and you're giving the scoring algorithm that will be used to test you on the blind data, so that you can use that to iteratively gauge your process. You're then given a month to kind of run around and try to do the best you can, freeze your system, and then they send you 100 blind texts. You run the system and send the results back, and they score them, and they tell you how you did. How did people do? Well, out of the 11 systems that were in MUX 6, we got scores from around 33.5 to 56.5. Where the top 6 systems went between about 51 and 56.5, and in fact, a somewhat strict statistical significance test tells us that in fact no pairs of those systems are actually different. There's a fair amount of room here with